All right, let's check on Miss Speedy. All right, so you got how many weeks to your competition?
I am now 4.5 weeks out.
4.5 weeks.
Yep, it's getting close.
What you doing?
I'm meal prepping, getting my breakfast ready. I try and prepare everything the night before.
Yeah.
Because I hit the gym so early in the morning. Take it with me, I can eat and then do my weight training. So first thing, fasted cardio in the morning, every day, 7 days a week.
Okay. Twice a day, right? Twice a day cardio.
Twice a day, yep, AM and PM, fasted.
Okay, and you lift weights 5 days a week.
Yep.
Lift weights 5 days a week. How many calories a day do you get right now?
Right now I'm just at 1,000 calories.
1,000 calories.
And I think I burn like 15 to 1,700 calories a day.
And you're not grouchy at all, are you?
No.
Very grouchy.
I feel pretty good. I have to admit, I do feel pretty good. I thought this was going to be a struggle. I thought it was going to be hard. It's not for everybody, but you know.
Well, it's cool.
I'm
A couple people have been asking about it, so they're anxious to see. I think they may just want to see you in a bikini, but we're still going to show some people at your competition and see how you do.
Yeah, you can see me at the show.
So I've been driving Go Man Go Around with the new red eye engine installed, trying to get that 500 miles on it to get it broken in. And the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to be absolutely sure there was nothing else wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the injectors out and send those off and have them tested. Don't make fun of my shirt, I just got done with the gym. And you guys have seen me do this before, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. We're going to pull the fuel pump relay from the trunk, and then we're going to disconnect these electrical connectors, disconnect these or loosen these star bolts here, and then lift the fuel rail up and take the injectors out. We're going to number them because I'm really curious if there was any issues with cylinder 7 or cylinder 2, and we're going to number the injectors to match what cylinders they go with so that when we get the report back, we'll know. Okay, after you've done that a time or two, it becomes pretty easy. It took me about 5 minutes. I did go ahead and I marked the injectors. So that's number 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And I marked them with a silver Sharpie, but I also came back with a pick and scribed the number into them because when they come back, I'm curious if any of them had a problem, and then we can correlate that to what occurred with the motor. So I'm going to send these off. I got to figure out where I'm going to send them. I'll update you guys on that when they come back, and we'll see what the report shows on these ID1000 fuel injectors. I bought these used. The person I bought them from said they had only run them for 2 weeks, and then they decided to go with E85 and they needed 1300s, and so they pulled these out of the car and said they only had, you know, about 1,000 miles on them. Who knows? I mean, we hope that people are honest, but you never know. So I'm going to send them off and have them tested just to be sure that wasn't an issue as part of the problem that we had. What should have been a real simple ship the injectors off, have them tested, and get them shipped back turned into kind of an ordeal. Havoc Speed, I can't say enough good things about them. They had excellent customer service and excellent communication. I'll leave a link to Havoc Speed down here if you need to have some injectors serviced. They literally turned them around the same day. So I shipped them out on a Friday. They got them about 10:30 in the morning. They gave me a ring about 5:30 in the afternoon saying they had tested them, cleaned them, and were ready to ship them back. However, UPS lost the package. They made it all the way to Middle Tennessee where I'm located, and then somehow it got lost in the hub, and it took UPS about a week to find them. I called Havoc Speed and they opened the tracer on the package. We actually didn't think it was going to be found, and so Havoc Speed actually bought me a new set of injectors. They don't make the ID1000s anymore, which is what I had, so they bought me some ID1050X injectors. So good on Havoc Speed for having great customer service and seeing the problem through. However, a day later, UPS actually did find the box, and this is what we get back. And I guess Havoc Speed might not have insured the package. The guy did tell me that was the first time in 3 years that UPS had lost anything. And by default, in case you didn't know, UPS only insures $100. So if you only have the extra insurance, make sure you do that. onto the injectors. You can see they come back very nicely packaged. Each injector is actually, so the whole thing's in a plastic bag with your report, and each injector is actually individually wrapped as well. That's pretty cool. So each injector is individually wrapped. They put new seals on them, but they actually send you back your old seals, so you know they were replaced. I liked that as well. It looks like there's a little bit of a lubricant or something in each individual package to keep the seals nice and moist. And then we got our report. And on the report you can see they tested them just as they were when I sent them in, and then they cleaned them and retested them, and there it kind of shows you the difference. So we had some flowing 88 pounds per hour and then back to 93.5, and they're all pretty consistent, 93 and up after they cleaned them out. And we had some that were 93, or one that was 93, and one that was all the way down to 88.4, a couple that were 88.4 actually. So there's what the report looks like when you get it back. And I had actually hoped that we would find some kind of silver bullet with these injectors. Now, you know that the rod broke in cylinder number 7. Okay, I'm gonna break into this little segment right here, and I'm gonna show you something that we've started to notice since my engine failed. I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but hopefully you can. Tell me what you see about that rod. This piston is not out of my original engine. I got this from a performance shop that had a Hellcat come in with a failed engine, and they sent me 3 pistons. I sent 2 of them off to Mike, who's going to do some analysis on them, but this is the one that I kept, and Mike's already emailed me and said that the 2 that I sent him are also bent, but hopefully you can see that rod. That ain't straight. You can see it's bent pretty bad. Turn around this way. I think that side's probably worse. You can see it's bent almost like an S. So that's what we really think has started to happen. I don't know if it was RPM. That was one of the first theories, that the RPMs, I accidentally hit 7,000 a couple of times on some shifts, and we thought it might have been weakening this area around the wrist pin boss. But then we started thinking maybe the rod's bent for some reason, and it just seems to be like a lottery. I've said that a couple of times. Sometimes these cars can handle, a stock Hellcat engine can handle 1,000 rear wheel horsepower. Sometimes they can't. Apparently I had one that couldn't, because I was only making about 800. The tune was good, air fuels were good, timing was okay, and now we've sent the injectors off to have those tested. So there you go. And I'm not an expert on mechanical failure, thank goodness, but usually when a rod breaks, it's a result of horsepower or RPM. I don't know that you would usually find it to be a result of a lean condition or too much timing or too much boost or something like that. Usually that would present itself on the top of the piston as well as the spark plugs. So cylinder 2, we actually found some burned spark plugs. The rest of them look pretty good. Cylinder 2 just happens to be the companion cylinder to cylinder 7 that broke the rod in terms of the firing order. So I don't know if that's material or not. A couple of the mechanics that I talked to mentioned that. They said, hey, when I'm trying to figure out exactly what caused the problem, and like, you realize cylinder 2 is the companion to cylinder 7. Whether that's relevant or not, who knows. But long story short, the injectors weren't the problem. Even though they were a little bit dirty and could have used a clean, they weren't bad enough that they would have caused any kind of lean condition or a rod to break or anything like that. So we're still going to have to do some theorizing and a little more research to see if we can figure out what's going on that caused that problem. But for now, we're going to get these injectors back into Go Man Go. And you've seen me do this before, and the install is just the reversal removal. So okay, so that's it for today. This was one of those things that I just had to know, and for what it costs to have the injectors tested, it's probably one of those things I'm going to do once every year, maybe every other year. Just send them off to Havoc Speed. They were excellent. Again, excellent customer service, reasonable price to test those injectors. It takes me about 15 minutes, maybe less than that, to pull them out, ship them off, get them tested, and have them come back, put them back in. I know they're good to go. So I really wanted to know that I didn't have any fueling issues that were related to the engine failure that I had.
brand new motor in the car. I don't want to take any chances. Now I know that it's good. I don't have to worry about that. I know the injectors are good. So now I can just focus on getting this red-eye engine out to the track and see what we can do with it. People have asked me, what do I think it's going to run? Well, the same motor in a Demon runs 9-second quarter-mile passes pretty easily. I'm making about the same power as the Demon, maybe just a little bit more. This pulley on the car, it's a 272 Hellraiser. I see about 16.5 pounds of boost. A Demon is 14.5. I'm going to start off running the car on 93 just to do some shakedowns. I'm not going to race it on 93. I never recommend doing that. I'm just going to do some shakedown passes on the 93 octane setup just to kind of see where I'm at and double check my tune. And then we're going to switch over to race gas using the Demon high output or high octane tune as a baseline. And I'm going to start writing a race tune for this car. And I'm going to use the Renegade that I always use. I'm going to use a blend of 109 unleaded with 112 plus leaded. Just a little bit of the 112 plus mixed with the 109. And I'm going to try to get the octane to be right around 110, and that'll be plenty of octane. I shouldn't ever have any problems on 110 octane. I talked to the tech director of Renegade Race Fuel, and he told me that at 110 octane, there probably wouldn't be a way I could add enough timing to the tune to actually cause the car to knock. He said, you'll actually quit making power before this fuel actually hits its detonation point based on cylinder pressures. And so that's pretty good news. Got plenty of it. You can see I'm ready to go on that. Got plenty of Renegade Race Fuel. So I'll do the 93 shakedown passes, switch over to the Renegade Race Fuel, and see where we end up. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I hope you did. That really helps these get out into the YouTube algorithm. The engine failure video, which I'll link to the top, somehow the YouTube algorithm grabbed that thing. It had 60,000 views in like 4 or 5 days. So quite a bit more than my videos normally see. So I appreciate you guys that are coming in and giving the videos thumbs up and leaving comments and all of that. Be sure to stay tuned again. We're gonna be getting this car back to the track here real soon. As soon as the weather cools off, we're getting back at it. Be sure to check us out on Instagram. It's at Speedy's_garage, as well as our website, www.speedysgarage.net. And hopefully I'll see you out there.